UFC Fight Night, Santos versus Hill. Full card prediction. It's a very, very good card. I'm just kidding. It's not really the best card, but we got some good ones like Sergey, Spivak, Augusto, Sakai. We got Vicente Luque, Jeff Neal, however you want to say it. Jamal Hill, Thiago Santos. Some Ultimate Fighter fights right there. We got Sam Alvey as the main prelim over Terrance McKinney. Do not ask. I don't know why. The UFC really just wants to disrespect Terrance McKinney at this point. I don't care. They could put Bryan Battle as the main prelim, and I would be okay with that. As long as it's not freaking Sam Smiling Alvey. This dude that is somehow has a draw on Daun Jung. The guy that had a split decision with Ryan Spann, don't ask me how, that beats a former champion, Rashad Evans. I mean, I don't even understand how he's still in the UFC, let alone the main prelim of this UFC Fight Night. I don't know how. I don't know how Ariane, Lipski, Priscilla, Cachoeira is on the main card over Terrance McKinney, Erick, Gonzalez, or even Bryan Battle. I don't know. UFC is a little whack. But yeah, these are the fights. You can read them if you want to. You can. I don't know. Make sure to hit the like button. Try to get this video to 1,000 likes. It's not going to get there, but we'll try. And yeah, subscribe. Let's get in the first one in the UFC's bantamweight division. Mayra Bueno Silva and Stephanie Egger in the UFC's bantamweight division. Now, I'm kind of happy that the odds have flipped. Minus 140 were the original odds for Mayra Bueno Silva at 30 years old, almost 31 years old, and Stephanie Egger at 33, almost 32 years old. Same height, little bit of a reach advantage for Stephanie Egger. Like I said before, I'm a little happy that Stephanie Egger odds have flipped. And now, Stephanie Egger right now is going to be the favorite. Not a bad favorite by any means. She's at minus 130. And there is good plus money on Mayra Bueno Silva at plus 110. Stephanie Egger started off the betting odds at plus 110. And people bet on Mayra Bueno Silva, got her up to plus 150 at the peak. So, I mean, everyone's minds are changing so much on this fight. I've seen a lot of prediction channels go on Stephanie Egger as their underdog. She's not the underdog anymore. So, I guess I'm going to be the one to do it. I got the underdog. I mean, I don't know if these odds are going to flip again by the time the fight gets actually official and the weigh-ins are completed and everything like that. I don't know. Maybe Mayra Bueno Silva is the favorite by the time the fight happens. But I'm going to go Mayra Bueno Silva. The reason being, Stephanie Egger, the one thing she's really good at is kind of bum rushing, using her strength, getting you in the clinch, getting it down, and TKOing you, submitting you, whatever the case may be, in round 1 or in round 2. She's done that in pretty much every single one of her wins. If she doesn't, she'll kind of grind to a unanimous decision. The only reason she's lost fights inside of the UFC, which was only one time against Tracy Cortez, was due to Tracy Cortez being a really good wrestler and having slightly better striking than Stephanie Egger. That's not the case here, and that's why I assume the betting odds have flipped to Stephanie Egger, because they're thinking Stephanie, she only loses when her opponent is a better striker and is a very, very solid wrestler, meaning they can keep the fight on the feet and outstrike Stephanie Egger. Now, I do believe Mayra Bueno Silva can outstrike Stephanie Egger in this fight. The reason being that these odds keep on flipping, and Stephanie Egger was at plus 150, is now at minus 130, is because Mayra Bueno Silva, if you go on the UFC statistics, the UFCstats.com website, you'll see that Mayra Bueno Silva got taken down against Yanan Wu. I believe she got taken down against Mana Fiorot. Gotta recheck that, but her takedown defense is not necessarily the best. The reason I'm still going to be going with Mayra Bueno Silva to win this fight is because even though she doesn't have the best takedown defense, she does have very good jiu-jitsu, for one. She's got a good armbar, she's got good submissions on the ground, triangles and things like that. Just good submissions. Stephanie Egger also is a good submission practitioner. None of them are like super high level or anything, but they can definitely handle themselves on the ground. The reason I'm going Mayra Bueno Silva, one, is jiu-jitsu. That can kind of help her, use his submissions to get back up on the feet. And number two, Mayra Bueno Silva has shown in her UFC career that even in fights where she gets taken down, she gets grinded, a lot of ground and pound on her, whatever the case may be, a lot of control time by her opponent, she's still able to win the fights on the judges' scorecards because she's able to mitigate the amount of damage her opponent is landing to her on the ground, and she's able to get up and have her striking advantage be that high to where she can just kind of coast a little bit on the ground, not hit on the ground, get back up, and then slightly outstrike her opponent and win the fight on the judges' scorecard. So that's why I'm going to go Mayra Bueno Silva, is because Stephanie Egger could go out there, take her down, ground and pound, grind, get a submission maybe, get a TKO, ground and pound, whatever the case may be. I mean, dude, that's why the odds are flipping. That's why Stephanie Egger is the favorite right now. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Mayra has a good style to compete with that, in that she's got good jiu-jitsu, which is going to help her get back up on the feet, which is going to help her use her better striking. She's got more power. She's got more speed. She throws a heck of a lot more volume in her fights. I mean, she held her own to Mano Fioro in the striking. That was a pretty decent affair in the striking exchanges in that fight. So that's the reason I'm gonna go Mayra Bueno Silva. Again, I'm not gonna be surprised if Stephanie Egger goes out there and grinds a decision. I mean, it all comes down to Mayra Bueno Silva's takedown defense, first off, which I don't think we can really trust 100%. But number two, it comes down to her fight IQ. Mayra Bueno Silva is one of those girls where you never really know. Is she going to go out there and is she going to get taken down and be like, you know, I'm going to be like Juliana Pena. I'm going to work for arm bars. I'm going to work for submissions until the fight's over, and I'll lose the decision on the scorecards, or maybe get that submission. It comes down to fight IQ. I don't think Mayra should go for any submissions unless she's using those submissions to get back up on the feet. So it all comes down to the fight IQ of Mayra Bueno Silva. Does she use the submissions to get back up, or is she using the submissions to get the submission? If she does that, she's going to lose on the scorecards. If she does what I'm saying, uses them to get back up on the feet and outstrike Stephanie Egger, that's how she's going to win. So it really comes down to the game plan of Mayra, the fight IQ of Mayra Bueno Silva, her coaches, her game plan, everything like that. And again, it's a close one. That's why the odds keep flipping like I've been saying. I'm going to go Mayra Bueno Silva as the underdog as of right now, slightly plus 110. Minus 170 on this bookie. I don't know how. Favorite on some. I mean, she's a slight favorite on a few of these right here. But she's a good underdog on BetOnline, DraftKings, and those are the bigger bookies right there. So I'm going to go the underdog, Mayra Bueno Silva, to win this fight by a 29-28 split decision in the women's bantamweight division. Cory McKenna and Miranda Granger in the women's strawweight division. Interesting fight. We have a 23-year-old youngin in the women's strawweight division, one of the youngest UFC fighters, and I think the youngest female MMA fighter in the UFC right now. But the reason I say interesting fight is because just look at the physical attributes of both Cory McKenna and Miranda Granger. Let's look. Miranda Granger is 5'7" tall with a 68-inch reach right there. That is a full 9.5-inch reach advantage if the numbers are correct. And a 4-inch height advantage over Cory McKenna. Again, that is insane. That is a huge height and reach difference. That's why this is a very interesting fight. 82%. Going with Cory McKenna to win on this card. And I don't blame them, but I would be very weary to just be going out there like, dude, Cory McKenna, she's a youngin. UFC probably wants her to win. She's going to grow into a good fighter once she's like 30 years old, future champion, whatever the case may be. But let's look a little bit lower. Let's go down here. Let's check at her last few fights. Vanessa Demopoulos on the Contender Series. Okay, decent win, unanimous decision. Kay Hansen, she didn't really dominate the fight. She wasn't close to finishing or anything like that. She didn't really do too much in that fight. Wasn't really the best performance. And then she got Elise Reed, and Elise Reed was able to stuff her takedowns, keep that fight on the feet, and use her better Muay Thai and striking to beat her on the feet. Land the harder shots, land more shots, and win on the judges' scorecards. That last loss is very interesting because Elise Reed is not a girl that I would say has very good takedown defense. She's not that girl. I mean, Elise Reed went on right after that to lose to Sam Hughes dominantly by ground up on TKO due to her getting taken down multiple times in the fight. So the takedown defense of Elise Reed is not that good, yet Cory McKenna was not able to go out there and take the fight down. So Cory McKenna, Miranda Granger. Now, that's why I'm like, dude, interesting ass fight is because on the one hand, you got Cory McKenna, a young, green fighter, pretty unproven, rookie in the UFC strawweight division, who's coming off a loss, losing to a girl that does not have the best takedown defense, but yet she was able to defend your takedowns. And she's 23 years old. On the other hand, we got a girl that, what was her last fight? How long ago was that? 1 year and 8 months ago. And it was a loss to Ashley Yoder. Now, Ashley Yoder is not the worst fighter in the UFC strawweight division by any means, just a lot worse than her. But that's freaking bad to be losing to her when Randa Marcos is beating her by split decision, Lavina Souza is winning by unanimous decision, Jinu Frey, Angela Hill winning by unanimous decision, and you're losing by unanimous decision. That's not a good look by any means. So these two girls, in my opinion, are sorry. Not my opinion, it's just fact. Super low level for this women's strawweight division. They just are. They're just very, very low level for this division. And I don't know, man. It's a horrible fight for me to predict. Because on one hand, you have a girl that I'm not in her camp. I'm not in her at her gym. I'm not seeing what improvements that she's made in 1 year and 8 months. I don't know. She could have really good takedown defense. She could be a much, much better striker than she was when she fought last time against Ashley Yoder. I don't know. That's why I'm like, yeah, I don't freaking know about this fight. I think it's a coin flip. Because on one hand, like I said, you got a young, unproven girl that's just lost the fight due to her wrestling not working against a girl with bad takedown defense. And she's fighting a girl with better striking who had 1 year and 8 months to work on her wrestling, work on her grappling, and potentially use that to win this fight on the judges' scorecards. I think this is a weird fight to predict. It's a weird fight to predict. Betting odds-wise, Cory's a solid 2-1 favor right there. Started minus 210. Money came in on Miranda Granger. Money came back out on Cory McKenna. It's a weird fight for me to predict. So I'm going to go with the underdog. If it's a fight like this, where there's so many intangibles, like they have not fought in a long time. I don't know what their training camp is looking like. Their gym is looking like. I don't know what they're looking like right now. And you got a girl that just, her whole game plan, her whole style of fighting just got nullified by a girl that's not really good at nullifying that particular style of fighting. I'm going to go with the underdog here. Miranda Granger by decision. I think it'll be close, 29-28. But it's a weird one. Do not take this as betting advice. Don't go out there, put all your money on Miranda Granger. It's one of those fights where I'm not going to be surprised what happens. I'm not going to be like, oh, dang. Miranda Granger just outstruck her for 3 rounds. I'm not going to be surprised if that happens. I won't be surprised if Cory McKenna outgrapples her for 3 rounds. I don't know. This is one of those. You got an unproven talent that's just lost. And you got a girl that has not fought in a while. I'm going to go there for the girl that has not fought in a while because I've seen a lot of them come back and they look very new and improved and have way, way better credentials and skills and things like that. So I'm going to go Miranda Granger. Not a confident pick. Once we make that confident picks video, Miranda Granger is going to be way down there. All right, Miranda Granger by decision right there. Jason Witt and Josh Quinlan. In the welterweight division, Josh Quinlan, 29.5 years old, 6 foot tall, 72-inch reach, so 2 inches taller, 2 inches longer, and he just popped for roids. I don't know what particular type of roids. I mean, maybe you guys can educate me down in the comment section below, but his Contender Series win, which he got a knockout in the very first round, like seconds into that fight, was turned to a no contest due to testing positive for drostanolone. I don't know what the heck that is. Educate me in the comment section below. I don't know what that is. I don't know how that enhances you. Maybe it was in his food. I don't know. Educate me in the comment section. But let's talk about the fight at hand. Jason Witt, up and down guy, loses to Takashi Sato. Gets knocked out. Loses to Matthew Semelsberg, gets knocked the out. Loses to Phil LeBro, gets knocked the out. Beat Cole Williams due to wrestling and grappling. Use that arm triangle, winning in the first round. Or sorry, it was the second or third round. Then gets a decision win over Bryan Barberena, using the wrestling, using the grappling, getting hit a lot in that fight. Very up and down guy. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Now he's coming off a loss. That means statistically he should get a win. But I'm not gonna keep the trend going. He's gonna lose this fight. I mean, he's been knocked out so many times in his career. He's 35 and a half years old. He's fighting a guy that, in my opinion, hits harder than Takashi Sato. Hits harder than Philip Rowe. Maybe hits a little bit less hard than Matthew Semelsberger. But if he can do that, if these guys can knock out Jason Witt in their fights, he definitely can. And I'm not nullifying all the wrestling and grappling talk of Jason Witt, because you never know. Jason Witt's one of those guys. You never know. Could go out there and just eat a bunch of shots, surprise us all, and wrestle and grapple Josh Quinlan for 3 rounds, win a decision. You never know. It's MMA, but Josh Quinlan also has good jiu-jitsu and good wrestling of his own. Not world-class or anything, but he can definitely hang with a guy like Jason Witt, enough to where he can knock him out on the feet. So that's my prediction. Josh Quinlan in the very first round, defending a few takedowns, or be a little bit of clinching, a little bit of like foot stomping, body shots in the clinch and things like that. Once they break, Quinlan's gonna go forward on Jason Witt at the end of round 1, start wailing on him with left hooks, right hooks, uppercuts, overhands, and he's gonna crack that granite chin. Just being sarcastic, the chin of Jason Witt, and knock him out in the very first rounds. Takashi Sato and Bryan battle in the welterweight division. Pooh Bear, worst nickname I've ever seen. Besides Takashi 10 Sato, these are some horrible nicknames. In the welterweight division, we got a 27-year-old versus a 32-year-old. One of them is way bigger than the other, moving from the middleweight division at 185 pounds down to 170 pounds. So this might be a fight where my prediction will change once we see weigh-ins. I don't know what the heck Bryan Battle is going to look like weighing in the welterweight division. I don't know. Maybe he looks good, maybe he doesn't. We shall see. But he's way bigger. He's 3 inches taller. He's got a 4-inch reach advantage. Again, he's way bigger. He's stronger. He's a better striker overall. Takashi is just, I mean, he moves around pretty decently, but you know, not really the best striker. And Bryan Battle can easily go out there, take him down, just like the last 2 opponents of Takashi Sato and Miguel Baeza and Gunnar Nelson. Bryan Battle can easily do that, get on top, and ground and pound. We saw him do that with Gilbert Arenas. We saw him do that against, he used a little bit of that against Tresean Gore. And then we saw exactly what he did with Kamra Lachinov and Andre Petrovsky. Took both of them down and used some really good wrestling and grappling. That's exactly what's going to happen here. They'll strike for a little bit like they usually do at the beginning of the fight. Bryan's going to find his range. Then he's going to muscle Takashi Sato to the clinch. He's going to trip takedown him, maybe a single leg. Just get him down, get into half guard. Grind and pound a little bit, find an arm triangle maybe get a guillotine, get his back. Takashi really loves to give his back to his opponents, and get that rear naked choke submission. So I'm going to go finish for Bryan Battle. I'm going to go submission in round number 2. Bryan Pooh Bear Battle by submission in the second round. Terrance McKinney and Erick Gonzalez in the lightweight division. Let's keep this short. Let's keep this sweet. Terrance McKinney, T-Rex, #1 prospect in the lightweight division. I'm joking. There's obviously some better prospects. But Terrance McKinney, by freaking knockout. Round 1, round 2. It's as simple as that. If Jim Miller can do it, Terrance McKinney can do it. I mean, I don't know why he's in the UFC. He just lost to Humberto Bandene by unanimous decision. He's beaten who? A 5-1 Mike Tucto, a 6-6 Ozil Rodriguez, and then a 5-4 Samuel Alvarez. Got knocked out by Jim Miller. Yeah, he's got some good striking, but was more known for his jiu-jitsu and wrestling and grappling. Got knocked out by him. This dude has double the power, double the speed, is just as good of a wrestler and grappler as Jim Miller. Man, you know, I would love to see how that would go. Jim Miller versus Terrance McKinney would be a good fight. I would love to see it. But come on, Ghost Pepper, what are you doing in the UFC? T-Rex, Terrance McKinney. Look at these predictions. 98% going McKinney by knockout. You already know Bird MMA ain't going against this. It's a Terrance McKinney first or second round. TKO. Michał Oleksiejczuk and Sam Alvey in the middleweight division. And like I said in the intro to this is fight of the night if I've ever seen one. Sam Alvey is the GOAT. This dude is on a crazy, crazy win streak. Oh, no, losing streak. Got knocked out by Antonio Rogerio Nogueira. Jimmy Crute right there. Lost to Klitzen Abreu, Ryan Spann, Julian Marquez, Wellington Turman, and Brendan Allen. He's been finished in a lot of these fights. Has lost decisions to Klitzen Abreu, Ryan Spann, Dong Jung, and things like that. But still, goddamn, it's Sam Alvey. He's 36 years old. He's taller. He's lengthier somehow. He's got okay striking. But there's not going to be any wrestling. There's not going to be any grappling. This is a pure kickboxing / Muay Thai fight with Sam Alvey and Michał Oleksiejczuk. And Sam Alvey's chin is deteriorating every single fight he goes out there. He's got CTE. We all know this. Michał Oleksiejczuk, this dude has power. Went out there, knocked out of Shamil Gamzatov in the first round. Knocked out, got Jamur Avantagulov, got Jean Vellante to the body, and he's a knockout machine. He was on a crazy knockout streak before joining the UFC, and, he loses to grapplers. So Ovis St. Preux, Jimmy Crute, and then Dustin Jacoby. That's understandable because Dustin is just that good of a striker, top 15 in the UFC's lightweight division. Now he's got Sam Alvey. This is a huge, huge step down in competition. He's going to do what every Sam Alvey opponent does. Push Sam Alvey back to the cage and just start throwing. Michał Oleksiejczuk did the exact same thing to Shamil Gamzatov. Got his back to the cage. Got that uppercut in the first round. Knocked him out. And we're going to see another one here. Sam Alvey by TK. I'm joking. Michał Oleksiejczuk by TKO. Round 1. Good fight in the middleweight division. Ariane Lipski and Priscilla Cachoeira in the women's flyweight division. Priscilla is currently on a nice 2-fight losing streak. It says she's on a 1-fight win streak. I don't give a shit if she's on a losing streak. She lost that fight to Ji-Yeon Kim, but she beat Gina Mazzani, Shana Dobson, both garbage. Lost to Luana Carolina and Jillian Robertson by submission. That's the only one we need to look at. Jillian Robertson by submission. Ariane Lipski is younger. She's not as tall, but she is lengthier than Priscilla Cachoeira. And yes, Priscilla is a good striker. She's got good power. She likes to come forward and put on that pressure and things like that. Ariane Lipski is shown to be able to weather the storm on the feet. Once it hits the ground and she's going against a fighter that has, better wrestling, better grappling, and has ground and pound, yeah, she gets TKO'd a lot by, Antonina Shevchenko, Montana De La Rosa. Priscilla doesn't have that in her back pocket. She's not a good wrestler. She's not a good grappler. Ariane Lipski is a decent wrestler. She's a decent grappler. She'll strike a little bit with Priscilla. She'll time in her entry, get that takedown, and she'll get on top. We saw what she did last time with Mandy Bone. Was able to outstrike her in the fight, honestly, and use her takedowns as well every now and then. We got her knee bar submission win on Luana Carolina, and a nice decision win there on Isabella de Paudua, however you say that one. But Lipski's got this one. Priscilla Cachoeira, she's one of those underdog girls that she wins a lot when she's underdog. I don't know how. She just does. But she's not that good of a jiu-jitsu girl. She just is a zombie girl. She likes to come forward and put on the pressure, get that TKO, get the crowd excited, make it a war. Not going to be the case. When she comes forward, she's going to walk into a takedown. And Ariane Lipski going to submit her. Sorry about that. Going to submit her in round 2. Let's go rear naked. Let's just go another plain old rear naked choke submission. Ariane Lipski with a rear naked in round 2. Sergey Spivak and Augusto Sakai in the heavyweight division. Sergey is younger. He is the same height, and he's a little bit longer than Augusto Sakai. I've heard a few people say that Sergey is a little bit taller than 6'3". Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But it's clear the UFC wants Sergey to win. Augusto is on his decline right now. Got knocked out 3 times in a row. At least they're over him in the 5th round. Ground and pound TKO. Jairzinho Rozenstruik in the main event, I believe, round 2. I couldn't be mistaken. And then tied to Ivasa. But a lot of good guys. A lot of them in the top 10 or were in the top 10 before they retired. The first thing we got to look at with this fight is size. Is going to be the size. Augusto Sakai is currently 263 pounds in his last fight. Very big guy for this UFC's heavyweight division. Sergey Spivak, not the case. He's 243 pounds. He's good in the clinch. He's got good trip takedowns. He's good on the ground, good submissions, arm triangles, ground and pound. He's good at holding you there, staying away from your submissions, and just winning the fight on the judges' scorecards, or getting that TKO like he did with Greg Hardy and Jared Vanderaa. But this is an interesting fight is because Augusto, in my opinion, is going to be the better striker, is a lot bigger, and is on his way down, which means he needs a win if he wants to continue fighting in the UFC. And we've seen what the man has been able to do. He knocked out, look at these guys. Chase Sherman right there, got a decision on Andrei Arlovsky, knocked out Marcin Tybura, and then he beat Blago Ivanov right there. The only fights he's losing to is literally Alistair in round 5 over there. Jairzinho Rozenstruik at the end of round 1. That's a very powerful guy. And then tied to Ivasa. None of the guys he's losing to have the same style of Sergey Spivak. Sergey is the guy that's looking to get you in the clinch and take you down. Now, I was originally going to go Sergey Spivak. As soon as I saw the fight, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go Sergey. I think he takes the fight down, wrestles, grapples, wins the fight. Sure, Sergey Spivak, unanimous decision, but I'm changing it. I'm going to go the underdog here. I don't like going the underdog on a guy that's on a big losing streak like this, getting knocked out a lot of times, but I do think Augusto is going to hit Sergey a lot harder than Sergey is going to hit Augusto, and I don't think the wrestling is going to be there for Sergey. I think he might be able to land a few takedowns, things like that. But Sergey's not that big, man. He's going to be 20 pounds lighter than Augusto Sakai. Not as strong as Augusto Sakai. So I think Augusto defends the takedowns, keeps the fight on the feet in the striking, and wins the fight by a decision. If we look at the betting odds, he's a 210 underdog right there, and even more money is coming in on Sergey Spivak. Odds to go to a decision plus 120. I'm going underdog, and I'm going fight goes to a decision. I'm going to go with Augusto Sakai. I think he defends the takedowns and outstrikes Sergey Spivak 2 rounds out of 3. Augusto Sakai by a 29-28 decision. Brogan Walker Sanchez, or Brogan Walker versus Juliana Miller. In the flyweight division, Juliana, 26 years old, a lot younger, she's taller, and she has the same reach as Brogan Walker. Brogan is the more experienced fighter, fighting the much better opponents, beating Laura Gallardo, Hannah Guy, beating Miranda Maverick by unanimous decision, and losing to top 15, Erin Blanchfield and Pearl Gonzalez, who's Invicta right now. But now she's fighting Juliana Miller, a very unproven UFC Ultimate Fighter. I mean, if that's what you want to call it. But she's a very, very good jiu-jitsu girl. We've seen her go in many jiu-jitsu fights. Beat Claire Guthrie on the Ultimate Fighter. Winning that fight using the jiu-jitsu. And then getting a Kimura on Caitlin Neal. Going out there, putting heavy pressure. Getting the takedowns, getting the body lock. Just dropping her down on the floor. And then winning the fight by decision. That's not going to happen here, guys. I watched the Ultimate Fighter. I watched the full season. Wasn't really the best season. Wasn't the worst season either. But Brogan Walker's got good takedown defense. She's stronger than Juliana Miller. She's got more experience than Juliana Miller. And she knows how to defend a body lock trip takedown. I mean, that's one of the most basic takedowns I've ever seen. That's all Juliana Miller really has in her takedown arsenal. Single legs, double legs, not going to work on Brogan. And then again, the trip takedown, the body lock trip, or the body lock, getting off the cage, pulling her, getting her down. Not going to work on Brogan Walker Sanchez. This is going to be 3 rounds of striking. We're not going to see any takedowns, in my opinion. We might. I mean, Juliana is that girl. She's just ferocious, puts on a heck of a pace. She could land a takedown. I don't think we see any. I think this is 3 rounds of striking. And I think Brogan, sorry about that, is just going to counter Juliana Miller. It's going to be just like Amanda Nunes, Juliana Pena 2, in where Juliana is going to be Juliana Pena, Juliana. She's going to pressure forward with that Juliana Pena style, just trying to bum rush, get the clinch, get the takedown, and Brogan is just going to use her kicks at range as she's coming in, counter with her hooks, counter down the middle, exit out the side, stay away from the takedowns, and she's going to win the fight. I don't know why she's the underdog. She was the favorite at the beginning. I don't know why so much money is coming in on Juliana Miller. I don't know. But I think Juliana Miller should be the underdog. I think she's unproven. I don't think their takedowns are going to work here. And I think Brogan Walker is going to outstrike her on the feet and win a very close, very competitive 29-28 decision right there. Zach Pauga and Muhammad Usman in the heavyweight division. Now, this is a very interesting fight. Two guys I think could be fighting in the UFC's light heavyweight division. If you look at my boy Zach Pauga, he fought Marcus Perez, UFC veteran right there. I mean, he beat him by unanimous decision. I watched this fight on Cage Warriors. It was one of the San Diego cards. Did very good in the fight and won a decision. Did get hurt a little bit in the fight. But if you look at the pounds right here, 204.2 pounds. He is not a heavyweight fighter. Now, right here, it doesn't show the weigh-ins. I'd like to go back and see what he actually weighed in at. But he's not a natural heavyweight, which is why, you know, I'm not going to be one of the guys, like a lot of the other prediction channels, being like, Zach Pauga, domination. I do have Zach Pauga winning this fight. I got him winning a decision here, 29-28 on the judges' scorecards. But the reason I'm not going to go going for Zach Pauga as like a super confident pick is size. Muhammad Usman is a lot bigger, and he hits very hard. If he just commits on his overhand right, he can knock out anyone in the UFC's heavyweight division, especially fighting a guy that's not supposed to be in the UFC's heavyweight division, should be in the light heavyweight division. So this is a tough one for me. Muhammad really only has his jab, leg kick, overhand. Those are literally the only three weapons that I've seen from Muhammad Usman, and then a very lackluster takedown attempt that I've seen many times on The Ultimate Fighter, whereas Zach Pauga has a well more established arsenal of strikes, whereas he can go out there, use his movement. He's got way better movement, being the much smaller and more elusive guy, but better movement around the octagon and things like that, and he's better able to land and move out of the way. So I think Muhammad's game plan here, I think Muhammad's game plan is probably going to be landing the jab, and looking to land that overhand and knock out Zach Pauga. But I don't think it's going to be a good game plan. I think Zach's going to go out there with his speed. He's going to get away from those big overhand looping shots of Muhammad Usman. And Zach is going to kick him at range. He's going to leg kick him. He's going to body kick him. He's going to high kick him at range. He's going to jab. And he's just going to use his speed. With a guy like Zach, who's just so much faster than Muhammad Usman, he should easily be able to go out there and just speed Muhammad Usman for 3 rounds. Muhammad will be able to close the distance eventually, maybe hurt Zach Pauga a few times in this fight, which is why I'll give Muhammad a round if he can land some harder shots, as he is the harder puncher in my opinion, and the bigger, stronger, more powerful guy. But I'm still going to go Zach Pauga to win. One reason being is that he's faster, he's more elusive, he's going to throw more volume in this fight, and the judges are going to like that. Number 2 is going to be that Usman's gas tank really is not going to be the best in a fight like this, where Zach is going to have to make Muhammad Usman come to him. That's going to force Muhammad to use a lot of cardio to come to him and look to land the overhand right. It's going to take a lot out of Muhammad Usman, meaning that his cardio is going to go down as well. There's a lot of things going for Zach Pauga. The reason I'm not going confident for Zach Pauga is literally just because of the size, but I think Zach is going to use his speed, use his elusiveness to go in and out, use some clinching to wear on Muhammad Usman and win the later rounds. Round 1 or round 2, one of those will go Muhammad Usman, one of them will go Zach Pauga, and round 3 definitely going Zach Pauga. 29-28 unanimous decision win for Zach Pauga and your new Ultimate Fighter Season 30? I don't know what season it is. Tournament Championship for the heavyweight division. I'm going Zach Pauga. I'm going crying Kamaru Usman in my comment section after I make this prediction. I don't care though. Zach Pauga by a unanimous decision. Vicente Luque and Jeff Neal in the welterweight division. Now, this, originally, I was like, dude, come on, guys, this is Vicente Luque all day, baby. You can watch my early prediction. I was pretty set on going Vicente Luque, but you know the game plan and you know the guys that are over here in his gym. I mean, we have a lot of guys over here that have the best, one of the best coaches, I'm not going to say the best, in Saif Sayoud. He's got very good game plans, and I'm sure he's going to develop a good game plan to stay away from some of those big, powerful shots of Vicente Luque, the knees of Vicente Luque, and things like that. His coach is very, very solid, so I don't know. Originally, I had a good confidence on Vicente Luque, but I'm looking at his coach. I'm like, dude, he might think of something. And maybe Jeff Neal goes out there as Jeff Magomed Neal. And he goes out there and takes down Vicente Luque for 3 rounds. Like Bilal Boredom Muhammad. Like, I don't know. Maybe that happens. I don't think so. But he's a good coach. That's why this prediction is going to be iffy. But if we go on to what I was saying in my first prediction, my Vicente Luque, Jeff Neal early prediction, the reason I went Jeff Neal pretty confidently is because he is going to be a little bit younger. I think he's a little bit more powerful of a striker in that he has more tools to finish this fight than Jeff Neal. He's got the Darce choke. He's got the knees and the clinch and things like that. He's got the elbows. He can cut Jeff Neal. And then he's got his boxing, which is also very good. Jeff Neal's boxing is also pretty even as well. So the reason I was going Vicente pretty confident is because I thought boxing, we can keep that a stalemate. Maybe every now and then Jeff will get the advantage. And then, Vicente's got the advantage in the boxing. It'll be pretty back and forth with the punches of both guys. But I was like, Vicente, if this fight goes to the judges' scorecards, he's going to have the kicks, he's going to have the knees, he's going to have the submission attempts and things like that, all playing to the judges' scorecards, giving it most likely to Vicente Luque. Not to mention, all of those things lead it more likely for Vicente to get the finish. So I was like, dude, I'm pretty confident on Vicente Luque. But you never know. The freaking coach is getting me a little bit iffy on this prediction here. So I'm gonna go with Vicente Luque for all the reasons I just suggested. I think this is gonna be 3 rounds of striking. I think he's gonna make this fight a very clinch-oriented fight because that's where he is best, in my opinion. Is in the clinch versus non-wrestlers against Bilal Muhammad. No, do not go to the clinch against Jeff Neal. Go to the damn clinch. That's exactly what your game plan should be. Get to the clinch, land those knees, land those elbows, cut him open. The judges are going to see that. They're going to give it the round. And that's why I'm going to go Vicente Luque. He's going to clinch this fight up a lot in this fight. Break the clinch with some elbows. Break the clinch with some knees. And at range, keep the boxing very, very even. Land some kicks at range as well. And win a 29-28 unanimous decision. Vicente Luque on them judges' scorecards. I don't think he finishes Jeff Neal, because Jeff is a tough cookie, did not get knocked out against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson or my main man, Neil Magny right there, but did get knocked out by Kevin Holland a while ago, early on in his career, and then Martin Sana, which is funny. I don't know how Martin's ended up submitting him, but I do think this fight goes all the way. I don't see a finish. I think it's possible Vicente would love to go out there and get another finish. His only non-finish was Mike Perry, and that was quite a while ago in 2019. So I don't know. We shall see. I'm gonna go Vicente Luque by decision though in the welterweight division. Thiago Mojeta Santos and Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill in the light heavyweight division. The reason his name is Sweet Dreams, because that's what his opponents do. Look at this. Jimmy Crute getting cracked with the right hook in the first round. Johnny Walker getting cracked with the overhand right in the first round. Got knocked out cold. And then he knocked out Ovise Prue, Klitzen Baru, but did lose to Darko Stosic. Or sorry, did not lose. Got a decision on Darko Stosic, and then got a loss to Paul Craig with the jiu-jitsu. This is not going to be a jiu-jitsu match. It's not going to be a wrestling match. Thiago is going to be looking to go out there, play the kicking game, stay at range, landing body kicks, landing leg kicks at range, tapping them 1-2 and 1-2 in them. I don't care. That his game plan is not going to work. He's going to be looking to point strike Jamal Hill. Jamal's not going to care. He's going to eat those point strikes. He's going to come forward with those diamond hands, and he's going to land on the chin of Thiago Santos. Thiago got a decision loss to John Jones, a submission loss to Glover Teixeira, a decision loss to Alexander Rakic and Magomed Ankalaev. Ankalaev didn't really wrestle too much. Rakic didn't really wrestle too much. Glover did. He got the submission. And then John Jones right there was able to get the decision. All of these guys, Magomed Ankalaev, Alexander Rakic, Rakic did not go for the finish. Magomedov said he did not go for the finish. Glover got the finish because he said so. John Jones is a title fight, so he's going a little bit slower than he usually does. So all of those things in mind, he's not faced, even in all of these losses. You might be like, why are you going to go Jamal Hill by knockout if he hasn't been knocked out in any of his losses? The reason being is none of these guys are trying to knock out Thiago Santos. And now Thiago is 38 years old, and he's one of those guys where I think he could get cracked in this fight. Jamal Hill is one of the most powerful guys in the light heavyweight division, in my opinion. If we go on to the UFC rankings, I do think Jamal Hill is going to be that guy to finally finish Thiago Santos after all of this time. Let's go down to the light heavyweight division. Blachowicz, Ankalaev, Rakic, Smith, Santos, Reyes, Uzdemir. I'm looking at all of these guys in this UFC light heavyweight division. I'm saying Jamal Hill, Yuri Prochazka, maybe. Those are like the most powerful guys that I've seen in this division right here. I think Jamal Hill is going to do what he can to stay away from the kicks and the jabs and the 1-2s of Thiago Santos. He's going to get Thiago Santos back to the cage, and he's going to land a good shot right on the chin, knock him out in round number 2. Jamal Hill, sweet dreams with the TKO round 1 or round 2 in the light heavyweight division. Those are the UFC predictions for UFC Fight Night Santos versus Hill. 12 fights on the entire card. I got Jamal Hill by a knockout. I got Vicente Luque by a decision. I got Zach Pauga by a decision. Brogan and Walker by a decision. I got Augusto Sakai, the underdog, by decision. Ariane Lipski by submission. Michał Oleksiejczuk by TKO. Terrance McKinney by TKO. Bryan Battle by submission. Josh Quinlan by TKO. Miranda Granger by decision as an underdog. And then Mayra Bueno Silva as an underdog by a decision. So underdogs in the card, we got Mayra Bueno Silva. We got Miranda Granger. We have Augusto Sakai. And who else? Was that it? Was it just those three? Augusto Sakai, Miranda Granger, Mayra Bueno Silva. I thought there was one more underdog. I could be mistaken. Augusto Sakai. Oh, Brogan Walker. I forgot she was the underdog. Yeah, Brogan Walker Sanchez, Augusto Sakai, Miranda Granger, and Mayra Bueno Silva. Those are the full card predictions for UFC Fight Night Santos versus Hill. As usual, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and if you want to, make sure to go to the last 10 seconds of any one of my YouTube videos. I mean, it could be this video that you're watching right now, whatever the case may be. Just go to the last 10 seconds of any of my YouTube videos and go to the left side of the screen, because we put out all of our UFC, Bellator, Dana White's Contender Series bets, whatever the case may be, every single week. And we are up a staggering amount this year. If you want to check the Google document to check all of the bets, you definitely can. But go to the last 10 seconds of any video. Sorry, it just ended the video right there. Click this Burt MMA logo on the left-hand side of the screen. It'll take you to a page, and guess how much money it costs to become a channel member. $3. That's it. The cost of a water bottle for all of my UFC, Bellator, PFL, Contender Series, Legacy Fighting Alliance. I mean, there's probably a few other MMA organizations. Every MMA organization for just $3 a month. Make sure to click that. Last 10 seconds of any video. That's the full card prediction. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Let's go.